Imagine this: a glittering Hollywood icon, known for her fierce advocacy and unbreakable poise, steps onto the set of one of America's most respected interview shows. The lights are bright, the audience is buzzing with excitement, and the host is a journalism legend with a reputation for digging deep. But what if that digging turns into a personal ambush? This is the story of Angelina Jolie's unforgettable appearance on Diane Sawyer Primetime. A moment that would ripple through Hollywood and beyond, sparking debates about boundaries, respect, and the price of fame. Nobody in that studio, or watching at home, could have predicted the firestorm about to erupt. But as the cameras rolled, the air thickened with tension, and what started as a routine promotion spiraled into television history. It was a crisp autumn evening in 2024 when Angelina Jolie arrived at the ABC studios in New York City. She was there to promote her latest film, a powerful biopic about a humanitarian activist fighting for refugee rights, a project close to her heart, mirroring her own work with the UNHCR. Dressed in a sleek black pantsuit that accentuated her elegant frame, Jolie glided onto the set with her signature grace, her dark hair cascading in loose waves and her piercing blue eyes scanning the room. The audience erupted in applause as she took her seat opposite Diane Sawyer, the veteran journalist whose warm smile and probing questions had made her a household name. Sawyer, in her tailored blazer and with her trademark bob haircut, leaned forward with an air of familiarity, as if they were old friends catching up over coffee. The studio was alive with energy. Rows of eager spectators filled the seats, their faces lit by the glow of overhead lights. Soft murmurs of anticipation hummed through the air, punctuated by the faint clicks of camera shutters and the low buzz of equipment. Behind the scenes, producers paced nervously in the control room, monitoring every angle, while camera operators adjusted their lenses for close-ups. Other panelists, two fellow journalists invited for a roundtable discussion, sat nearby, smiling politely. One was a young cultural critic named Elena Vargas, fidgeting with her notes, and the other was veteran reporter Mark Thompson, who nodded encouragingly at Jolie. The atmosphere felt electric yet cordial, like the calm before a storm no one saw coming. Jolie began by sharing anecdotes from the film set, her voice steady and passionate, drawing laughs from the crowd with a light-hearted story about filming in remote locations. But here's where things started to shift, subtly at first, like a crack in the ice. Sawyer, ever the inquisitor, steered the conversation toward Jolie's personal life with a question that seemed innocent enough. Angelina, your work with refugees is inspiring, but how do you balance that with your own family dynamics, especially after such a public divorce? The audience leaned in, intrigued. Jolie paused, her smile faltering just a fraction, her fingers lightly tapping the armrest of her chair. She responded diplomatically, emphasizing her commitment to co-parenting and privacy for her children. Family is everything to me, she said, her tone measured. But I've always believed that personal struggles shouldn't overshadow the global issues we face. The crowd nodded approvingly, a few even clapping softly. Yet Sawyer's eyes gleamed with something sharper, a hint of the predator sensing vulnerability. What Sawyer said next would change the tone entirely, leaving the studio in stunned silence. But as the seconds ticked by, Jolie felt a familiar knot tighten in her stomach, one she'd known from years in the spotlight. Little did she know, this was just the spark. The real explosion was moments away, and it would force everyone to question where journalism ends and intrusion begins. Hang on, because if you think this is tense, wait until you hear how Jolie pushed back, turning the tables in a way that left Sawyer scrambling. As the interview progressed, Sawyer pressed harder, her voice taking on a skeptical edge. But Angelina, some critics say your activism feels performative, like a Hollywood gloss over real problems. With your wealth and privilege, is it fair to lecture the world on humanitarianism while your own life has been tabloid fodder? The words hung in the air like a challenge. The audience shifted uncomfortably, a few gasps echoing through the rows. Elena Vargas glanced at Mark Thompson, her eyes wide, as if silently pleading for intervention. Thompson cleared his throat awkwardly, attempting to interject with a mild, "Well, Diane, Angelina's contributions are undeniable." But Sawyer waved it off with a chuckle that didn't reach her eyes. Jolie's posture stiffened, her jaw clenching ever so slightly, a nonverbal cue that spoke volumes to those who knew her resilience. The camera zoomed in on Jolie's face, capturing the subtle flicker of emotion, a mix of hurt and defiance. Behind the scenes, producers exchanged frantic whispers in the control room, one muttering, "This is gold for ratings, but is she crossing a line?" The hum of the cameras seemed louder now, amplifying the growing unease. Jolie took a deep breath, her voice steady but laced with steel. "Diane, I've dedicated years to these causes not for applause, but because I've seen the suffering firsthand. My personal life? That's mine to navigate, not ammunition for ratings." The audience murmured, divided, some nodding in solidarity, others whispering in surprise. Sawyer leaned back, smirking faintly, as if relishing the friction. "Fair enough," she replied, but her tone suggested otherwise. "Yet doesn't that make you a hypocrite? Advocating for privacy while living in the public eye?" And just like that, the crack widened into a chasm. The studio lights felt harsher, the air thicker. Vargas tried again to lighten the mood, joking nervously, "Hey, let's not forget the film, it's got Oscar buzz." But the attempt fell flat, drowned out by the rising tension. Jolie's eyes narrowed, her hands now clasped tightly in her lap, betraying the storm brewing inside. What would push her over the edge? A single question that cut too deep, exposing raw nerves about her family and her past. Stay tuned, because the next exchange would shatter the facade, leading to a walkout that echoed across social media and left viewers debating for weeks. You won't believe how it unfolds. The escalation hit a new level when Sawyer circled back to Jolie's high-profile divorce from Brad Pitt, a topic Jolie had long shielded from sensationalism. "Angelina, your children have been through so much publicity. Don't you think your choices, jet-setting for causes while custody battles rage, send mixed messages?" The question landed like a slap, raw and invasive. The audience fell into a hush, the kind of silence that screams discomfort. A woman in the front row covered her mouth in shock, while another pulled out her phone discreetly, starting to record. Thompson shifted in his seat, his face flushing, murmuring, "Diane, maybe we should stick to the film." But Sawyer ignored him, her gaze locked on Jolie like a hawk on prey. Jolie's response was poised, but her voice trembled just enough to reveal the human beneath the icon. "My children are my world, and I've fought to protect them from exactly this kind of scrutiny. Diane, questioning my motherhood isn't journalism, it's exploitation." The words sliced through the air, drawing scattered applause from the crowd. Sawyer's smile tightened, her motivation clear now, perhaps a mix of chasing viral moments and her own biases against celebrity activists. Producers in the booth were in full panic mode, one barking into a headset, "Cut to commercial if it gets worse." The camera operators swiveled nervously, capturing every micro-expression. The way Jolie's knuckles whitened, Sawyer's subtle lean forward. But here's the twist that no one saw coming. As Jolie gathered her thoughts, a faint tear glistened in her eye, not of weakness, but of raw, unfiltered anger. It was a moment of vulnerability that humanized her, reminding everyone she wasn't just a star, but a mother under fire. Would she hold her ground, or would Sawyer's next barb force her hand? The studio held its breath, teetering on the edge of chaos. Don't stop now, this is where the real drama ignites, with a revelation that could redefine the interview forever. The ABC studios crackled with tension as Angelina Jolie faced Diane Sawyer, her words, "Questioning my motherhood isn't journalism, it's exploitation," still ringing in the air. The audience was silent, gripping their seats, as Sawyer leaned forward, her smile sharp. "Angelina, doesn't your public life undermine your private claims?" she pressed, her voice laced with challenge. The crowd gasped, a few phones already recording. Elena Vargas, the young panelist, fidgeted nervously, while Mark Thompson muttered, "Diane, let's ease up." But Sawyer ignored them, her eyes locked on Jolie. Producers in the control room whispered frantically, "This is trending, keep rolling." The cameras zoomed in, catching Jolie's clenched jaw, her eyes glinting with restrained fury. What would she do next? The answer would shock everyone. Jolie rose slowly, her heels clicking on the stage. Diane, you've built a career asking tough questions, but this? This is bullying, not journalism, she said, her voice steady but fierce. The audience erupted. Some cheered, others gasped. Sawyer's face tightened, but before she could respond, Jolie turned to the crowd. I'm here for the voiceless, not to play your game. With that, she walked off, leaving a stunned silence. Sawyer stammered, Well, that was unexpected. As producers scrambled, one shouting, Cut to commercial! The moment went viral, clips flooding X with hashtag Jolie vs. Sawyer. But the real fallout was just beginning. The aftermath was electric. Jolie's exit sparked heated debates online. Some praised her dignity, others called her oversensitive. Her film gained buzz, while Sawyer faced backlash, though her ratings soared. Jolie's statement was simple. I walked away for peace, not headlines. The clash became a symbol of standing firm against intrusion. Who was right? Did Sawyer cross a line, or was Jolie dodging accountability? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more stories that ignite debate. What's next? You won't want to miss it.